Well, this is one of those situations which impacts me as a creator and you as a viewer. And of course, I know that YouTube eventually is going to ban me. I mean, I tell the truth, and they don't like the truth. I got a video demonetized earlier this week for criticizing the NFL. I got a guy who's going through and actually going to Indiegogo trying to get them to remove my campaign right now. So I know all about the tactics used in order to censor people. And of course, my Indiegogo, a high school girl in the Crusades, has some themes which might offend people, right? It's a fiction story. It's a manga style story. It's a lot of fun, but people aren't allowed to have fun on the internet these days. People just want to tear down those of us who are doing well. And we've done really well with this campaign so far. Please check it out today. We've got 9 days left. I'd love to get over the 12,000 mark before that hits. And I appreciate everybody who's back so far. We've had a tremendous showing. So thank you, everybody who's supporting us, supporting our work, and condemning censorship at the same time. Like I said, we've been dealing with it personally this week. So it's no surprise to me that YouTube is coming out in favor of stronger censorship. This is Susan, the CEO, and I don't know if just talking about stuff like this gets you in trouble with their algorithms, but when she talks about the entire situation with YouTube, they developed this whole AI system to shadow ban people, to demonetize people, etc., over the course of the pandemic. And they did that so they didn't have to have their employees do it. Well, they just did it so that they could control speech more, is what it came down to. And I knew that was the case. I mean, we saw last year people were just talking about the election and whether it was real or not. And if you said the wrong things, you'd get removed from this platform. We've seen several of our friends get removed from this platform over just dubious circumstances. Talk about the vaccine or masks, same thing. It's clear at this juncture. I'm just going to say it. F it. It's clear at this juncture they don't work, and none of it worked. But you weren't allowed to say that last year. If you said that, you would have been gone. And so YouTube had this debate in Germany or whatnot, or interview in Germany. They don't really do debates. And she just went off, the Susan lady, on how these countries need to have stricter laws in order to deplatform people. Unbelievable. So she's talking about there's laws for free speech that exist, and she wishes that were not the case as it gets further down into this into this interview. Let me find the spot where she actually talks about it in the article here from Bounding Into Comics. I try to credit them as a source every time I use them, and I've been using them a lot today. So thank you, Bounding Into Comics. And if you're watching this on February the 16th, 2022, which is the day I made this, I'm actually going to be on their live stream tonight on the Bounding Into Comics channel, so make sure to check that out. So here it is.
That actually isn't the controversial part. What has been the controversial part is where there's been content that would be deemed harmful, yet is not illegal. An example of with that would be COVID. I'm not aware of any laws by governments around COVID in terms of not being able to debate the efficacy of masks, or where the virus came from, or the right treatment or proposal.
So there's the deal. She wants us not to be able to debate it. You hear that? Listen to it. She's not aware of there being laws, but she says this content where we just discuss whether they work or not, FYI they don't, is, quote, harmful, and she'd like to get rid of it.
There was a lot of pressure and concern around us distributing misinformation. Information we don't like. That went against what was considered to be the standard and accepted medical knowledge.
Standard and accepted medical knowledge, which changes by the day. Oh my gosh, this stuff frustrates me to no end. Every time I see it. It's just like they use experts as,
oh, this must be true. Some expert said it was true.
But if you cite a different expert,
oh, that expert's spreading misinformation. They don't say the consensus, which is just what we say the consensus is. If we remove all speech that's different than the consensus, there is no opposition to the consensus. So you see, you're the one who doesn't have the consensus because we removed all non-consensus.
It drives me crazy. This is exactly how they control the narrative now. This is what the media does. All of them are in the tank together with the big corporations. They've all got their outlets. I mean, the Washington Post is just an outlet for Amazon. And Amazon has lobbyists in the government. They've bought and paid for congressmen. So the government has a complex there. It's a government, consumer, media complex. And that's what we're fighting against here the entire time. But that's it. So she just wishes there were extra legalities against this type of speech. She goes on to talk about it. and she wants to push against free speech further. I'm really scared. Like I said, I'm dead sure I'm going to lose my platform. I mean, eventually, I'm speaking out against them on their platform. You know what happens when that happens. But I'm going to keep doing it anyway because it's my duty to tell you the truth. It's my duty not to care, and it's my duty to do it in the face of extreme persecution and people trying to get my channel removed, people trying to get my campaigns for my comic books removed. It's all the way up and down the line. I've had people try to get my Patreon removed. It's been constant struggle. But that's what the truth is, and the truth goes against the major corporations every single time. They don't want you to hear these messages because they want to control your minds. All right. Let me know what you think about this if you see this. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.